What's up, everybody? Tim Anderson here, aka Renville, back for another episode of Discovering Pathfinder as we continue to get deeper into the Pathfinder system. I don't know how far in exactly I am. I'd have to go look at the table of contents here with the core rulebook, but I am now going to be going into the tactical rules section in today's episode, which, as I understand things, talks about the hows of playing this game, like how the rule set works, so on and so forth. This is where we start getting into stuff that I don't know how crunchy it is, so I don't know how much I'm gonna need to do offline reading to get up to speed on things. So we'll see how long this episode turns out to be. I try not to have these be more than like 15, 20-minute episodes. I don't know if this one could turn into that. Could turn into longer than that. I don't know because of the rules. So we'll see. But we're going to be diving into the tactical rules today, which is section 8 of the core rulebook. If you're new here, welcome aboard. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon if you like this to continue to get updates as we dive deeper into the Starfinder series. And after we get up to speed on everything Starfinder, we do have something that's going to be happening in the Starfinder space in a little bit. I haven't made the confirmation video yet because we're still nailing down dates and times and availability, but there may or may not be something coming that we're going to be doing here on my channel in the Starfinder universe. Maybe. Anyway, let's get going here. Tactical rules. While many ordinary citizens of the Pact Worlds go their entire lives without seeing combat, adventurers and explorers often stumble into situations where a laser pistol or chainsword, what the hell is a chainsword, is their best option, or they might find themselves fighting for their lives from the back of a vehicle. Combat and tactical play are common parts of the Starfinder role-playing game, and the following chapter explains how these crucial and wide-spanning rules work. Wide-spanning is a word that makes me nervous. All right, how combat works. Combat in Starfinder is cyclical in nature. After initial steps that begin with a battle, every character acts in turn through a regular cycle of rounds until the combat ends. Okay, that sounds fairly standard, regardless of how it plays out. Here's the sequence that combat follows. Okay, we determine awareness. That's normal. Do your perception checks. Anybody surprised? Then do initiative. Yep. Surprise round. If some but not all the characters are surprised, combat begins with a surprise round. Okay. Weird. I've usually done the surprise round before determining an initiative, so this will be slightly in reverse of the way that I've done it in the past. But again, I do weird hybrid rules. Oh, hold on. It says here, after the surprise round, if any, the GM and players roll initiative checks for any characters that have not yet done so. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, so they actually determine. Hold on here. They're actually using that first, the number 2, which is they do determine awareness, then determine initiative order, then the surprise round. So they're using the determining initiative order after this awareness check to see those of you who are going to be involved in the surprised or unsurprised. If you're unsurprised and you're going to be engaged in combat before the surprise round, or during the surprise round, that's when this takes place. Okay, I understand what's going on here. It might sound like I don't, but I do. I promise. Then you do the first normal combat round. Okay. Then the characters act in according to their initiative order. Continuing combat, and then you just rinse, repeat. Okay. All right, that makes total sense. Often tell you to fight. When the GM has decided there are no imminent known threats left, the combat ends. Okay, got you. Excuse me. A surprise round occurs if some, but not all, characters involved in a combat are unaware of opponents about to attack. Sometimes all the combatants on a side are aware of their opponents, sometimes none are, and sometimes only a few are. Sometimes several combatants of each side are aware, while the rest are surprised. When you can sneak up and catch your enemies as a surprise, you enjoy powerful advantage. Yes, of course you do. But this is what they're talking about with that surprise round. It's different than the way I've done it in the past. But again, weird hybrid things that I do. But their way makes sense. So, okay. Combatants who are surprised at the start have a flat-footed condition, so they're at disadvantage. Okay. I say disadvantage. I'm comparing this to D&D rules because that's what I know, everybody. So I'm looking at this going, okay, that's disadvantage. That's easy to understand. Who can I attack? That's normal attack rolls. Roll your d20 and your bonus. Thrown weapon is a strength modifier. Otherwise, dex is the modifier for range. That makes sense. Chickens out there in Homestead. Ooh, hold on here. A natural 20 is always a hit, but it says here a natural 20 is also a possible critical hit, which could deal more damage. So why are they saying could be a critical hit and not is a critical hit? Because I've always rolled with the system that yes, a natural 20 is always a hit, but a natural 20 is also always a crit. And again, homebrew, double damage, or whatever the case is going to be. But here it says could be. It's a possible crit hit. Okay, this gets more into armor class. And then that's split up into EAC and KAC. Calculating EACs for more. Oh, your EAC and KAC are primarily determined by your armor bonus plus your dex modifier. You can calculate your EAC and KAC using the following formula. 10 plus your armor's EAC or KAC armor bonus plus your dexterity modifier. Assuming your armor has an EAC or KAC armor bonus. I'm gonna have to get used to that. It sounds more confusing than it might be because I'm seeing this as like, well, there's AC and then there's also this other thing, which is energy or kinetic. So when you're rolling for armor class, what are you rolling for? Are you rolling against their armor class or are you rolling against their EAC or KAC? Oh, any reference to armor class, including bonuses and penalties, applies to both EAC and KAC unless otherwise specified. Okay. Okay. Do they give a? Hopefully they give like a combat example in here somewhere that I can go read. That would be awesome. Sometimes you multiply your damage, like on a crit hit. When you take damage, it first reduces your stamina points. I remember reading that earlier. Any damage beyond that is your hit points. Excuse me. I was up late last night. I normally go to bed at 8, and I was up till 1 a.m. last night. And yeah, so I apologize for the yawns. If you fall unconscious, you lose 1 resolve point each round until you're stabilized. When your resolve points reach 0, but you would lose additional resolve points if you had them, you're dead. Well, I don't kill characters in my campaigns. I don't let the player characters die, so that would just render them like completely. What I usually do is if you failed your in D&D in 5th edition, if you failed your death saving throws, you just remain unconscious and in a coma, and that you're not allowed to come out of that until they find a way to revive you. But you're not dead. But the party is inconvenienced because now they have this comatose individual who they have to haul around and deal with until such time as they can be revived by not necessarily magical means, but extraordinary means that the party doesn't have at their disposal. Saving throw types, those are normal. Difficulty check, difficulty class. So they call that a difficulty class, not a difficulty check. Okay. You can voluntarily forego a saving throw and willingly accept the results of an effect or spell. And if you have special resistances, you can suppress that resistance or accept the results. Why would you want to do so? Maybe strategically, I suppose. Ability checks, those are normal. Powered armor. When you're asked, hold on, what's this? Multiplying more than once. When you're asked to multiply a value or roll more than once, the multipliers times 2 times 3 are not multiplied by one another. Instead, you combine them into a single multiplier with each extra multiple adding one less to its value than the first. If you apply a 2 times multiplier twice, the result is equivalent to multiplying the value by 3. Okay, that entire paragraph just confused the hell out of me. I'm going to have to read that later on and dive into what that means through someone else's explanation, because that explanation makes no sense to me. And yes, sometimes I find rules I look at and go, huh? And if I just don't like it, I won't use it. But I do need to go online and read more about that one, because that phrasing is really, to me, that the way it's worded confuses me. So I'll need to read that more. Rerolls and rolling twice. Unless an ability says otherwise, you must decide to use a reroll as soon as you know the result of your first roll, but before the GM tells you the outcome or you declare the use of any other ability. Okay. So it's just, it's, if you don't like it, you get a chance to reroll for certain things. Okay. Key combat actions. Woo! Missing with a thrown weapon. Yeah, this is all the super crunchy stuff. Combat maneuvers. Bull rush. Dirty trick. Oh, yeah. Concentrate to maintain a spell. Covering fire. That's a cool idea. If you hit, you deal no damage, but the selected ally gains a +2 circumstance bonus to AC against the next attack from a creature in your line of effect. That's really cool. All right, where was that thing they said was on page 245? When you make an attack roll and get a natural 20, you hit regardless of your target's AC. If the total result of your attack roll meets or exceeds the target's EAC or KAC as appropriate for your attack, you've also scored a critical hit. You roll your damage twice, each time with all your usual bonuses, and including any additional damage from special abilities, and then add the rolls together. Some weapons inflict a special damage on the target of critical. So this is just saying that critical hits only apply if you break through their EAC or KAC. So now I understand why they said possibly is a critical hit. Huh. Oh my god, this section goes on and on and on. Reactions, full actions, other actions. Injury and death, taking damage, I already understand how it works. If you take damage from a single attack, this is massive damage. That reduces you to 0 hit points and there's damage remaining, you die instantly. If the remaining damage is equal to or greater than your if it's equal to or greater than your maximum hit points. If you take damage from a single attack equal or greater than your maximum hit points while you have 0 current hit point, you die. I don't excuse me, I don't do death. So the rest of this doesn't really apply to me. Stabilizing, okay, that's normal. Long-term stability. Nice. Healing, temporary hit points. Ability damage. Oh my god, then there's combat modifiers. Oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to do all of this in one episode, I don't think. Or not that I need to split this into 2 episodes. What I'm saying is I'm reading through the core rules right now. It just, this section keeps going and going and going and going. So I don't want to stay here for like 45 minutes, reading through this whole section. I'll have to do a lot of this offline. Cuz now we're into tactical movement. And I'm reading through this like all these different things. There's this creature size table, difficult terrain, squeezing. When squeezing, you move at half your speed and are considered to have the entangled condition. Like, these guys have thought of everything. Like, this is bringing back memories of like AD&D, where they had rules for all these different things, because none of this stuff is in 5th edition. Like, 5th edition is just super simple. Overland movement, evasion and pursuit. Senses. What is this? Just as actions determine what you can do in combat, movement determines how you get there to do it. Senses determine what you can perceive and how, and different alien races may have different senses. There's precise and imprecise. Okay, precise senses allow a creature to perceive the world in nuanced detail. Usually, this is vision for most. Okay. Imprecise senses allow a creature to perceive certain details and clues about the world, which vary depending on the sense. But these are not sufficient for the creature to make out nuanced detail the way human sight does. Give me an example. Four states of awareness: unaware, aware, aware of a presence. You're aware of a location, or you can be observing. Okay, this makes more sense the way they explain this. Aware of location says when you're aware of a creature's location, you know exactly where the creature is located, but you still can't observe the creature with a precise sense, such as vision. This generally occurs because you have blind sense or because the creature is hidden, but you succeeded a perception check to pinpoint the creature with an imprecise sense. You must at least be aware of a creature's location in order to directly attack it, though it is considered to have total concealment from you. However, it is subject to area effects, including affecting that location. So I know it's over there. Launch a fireball. This is super complicated stuff here. Special abilities. I'm really hoping that when I go pick up one of the, I'm looking at one of the adventure path modules books. I think it's called The Way of the Heroes. It's in the free Fly Free and Die adventure path, and it's that first book, which is level 1 to 4. And it says that there's everything in that adventure path to teach you how to play. And because I'm looking at all this and reading this and going, this is why I'm going to be participating as a viewer in a stream here in a couple of weeks, which is really awesome, where I can actually watch people play it. Because it's one thing to read things in the core rulebook in this way. It's another thing to go out there and actually, use it. And a lot of these things, like I said, as a DM, I might throw out half these rules once I get into it if I don't like it or if I feel that it's slowing down the gameplay session. Okay, then there's bonus and penalties. Defining effects. Okay. Descriptors. Line of sight. Conditions. So this is just all the various things that can happen to you during combat. And here's vehicle tactical rules. Jiminy Christmas, there's a ton here. And they've got like maps for everything too. Like, just tons of these like map layouts. I mean, this rule book is really well done. Vehicle chases. Ha. And then they've got all these different rules for chase environments. Aquatic environment, desert environment, forest environment, highway environment. Sample vehicle chase. Oh, how cool is this? Eat pavement, rat. I shoot the other tire. Ha ha ha. Oh, I think I just finished that section. It looks like the next one is going to be starships. That was definitely the longest section I've read. And there's a lot to dive into there. Wow. Anyway, thanks for following along as I live read these sections with everybody and try to discover and uncover and learn and understand Starfinder. Thanks to those of you who have been giving me tips and places to go and dropping comments on past videos. It's been very helpful. Thanks to those of you who have invited me to come join you. That was awesome. We have an announcement coming up soon. Yeah. But in the meantime, we're going to be continuing to do this. I imagine it's still going to be another few episodes of me continuing to dive through the core rulebook before I complete this part of the series. So make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Support if you can. Super chats, super thanks. Don't forget memberships here. They start at $2.99 a month and go up depending on what level you want to support at. There's our Patreon page for our world of fantasy. It's a tabletop role-playing game, point-and-click adventure game, and a book series. We have a Discord. All the links are down there. Till next time, everybody, stay safe and happy gaming.